Morning gents, fried bacon here, and I've got a quick news video in fact today. I've got quite a few topics. I'm going to be talking about Battlefield 4, EA, which is related to Battlefield 4, also Microsoft and Halo 3, and also the resignation of the CEO of EA, and also the Samsung S4, in my opinion. So to kickstart this commentary, by the way, the gameplay is nothing special. However, I picked it because this outlines when I achieved the diamond camo. I was getting really pissed off with the Scorpion, and I was just playing just for that gold camo, and this was the last gun I needed with gold camo, and I just needed, I think it was one more bloodthirsty, and I was just just playing so bad because I was just really annoyed with the gun. Usually I play really well with the Scorpion, but just because I was so frustrated and so close in the new camo, I was just like, come on, let's get this shit done and whatnot. So yeah, that's the gameplay. Okay, now first thing I want to talk about is Battlefield 4. Yes, it's going to be incoming on the March 26th. They're going to reveal it. It's going to be in a modern day setting and will ship on next generation consoles. So obviously EA is going to have, they've got a few good games coming out and whatnot. But however, EA CEO has actually resigned just on Monday. So this is relatively new, and basically, yeah, he's resigned. And funny thing is, their stocks have been rising ever since he's gone. So yeah, apparently he's quitting because he's not happy with happy within the profits that have been made, and he feels that he's for blame. And it's the EA stock has risen 2.89%. So this means investors are in favor of this transition of the CEO leaving and the new one coming. I also want to talk about RealRacing. I don't know if you guys have RealRacing, but it's an iPhone app, and basically, well, essentially, it's a nice game. It's made in Australia, actually, I believe. And yeah, it's a nice game, great graphics for iPhone, and it's #1 top free app in 90 countries on the iOS App Store. And they're so popular because well, it's free, obviously. But the main way they make their money is microtransactions. And as we know, Activision are trying to copy this microtransaction, except for fucking Call of Duty. Now the thing is, I'll tell you why this microtransactions is popular on the RealRacing. It's because the app is free to start off with. Whereas when you're Call of Duty, you got to pay $60 to $100 for the game. You got to have Xbox Live or PSN, which can cost more. You got to have internet and all this, so it really adds up. And I don't think Activision is making a smart move for trying to squeeze out more, milk us even more with their whole microtransactions. And basically, it's a very popular app. 25 million races completed every day, and 25 minutes a day spent racing per person per day. So there's basically a lot of people enjoy this game, and it's very popular. And Call of Duty microtransactions, they do not work. It's only for free games, well, that's my view. And they're owned by EA, so there's a lot of shit happening for EA, I'll be honest. Okay, now we're gonna have a quick talk about Halo 3. Basically, there were big rumors that Halo 3 would be coming to PC. All over the internet, everyone was getting really excited, and that's not the case. It's a bit late anyway, but yeah, PC gamers won't be getting Halo 3, I'm sorry. It's just how it goes. Even though the game was released in 2007, they're not doing it. I don't know why not, but obviously they want to kind of keep it exclusive to Xbox, which, could convince people to buy Xboxes, but I doubt it, because most PC gamers would rather, game on their PCs than a Xbox. Okay. So, Samsung Galaxy S4, perhaps the most anticipated, next to the iPhone, smartphone, as they like to call them, of 2013. However, to say the least, I'm disappointed. I've been disappointed with smartphones for the last 2 or 3, ever since the iPhone 4 came out. I loved that phone yet. I thought it was very innovative and whatnot. But from then on in, not much has happened. Or from my point of view, as a consumer, not much has happened, and nothing has sparked me or my imagination to say, hey, let's go out, buy an $800 phone, because what? Its screen's a tiny bit bigger, it's got a new operating system, or it's got 10 gig more space or something, or it's like, 256 megabytes more RAM. It hasn't convinced me. And look, the Samsung Galaxy S3 sold 40 million in just 6 months. So they're a big player, and obviously, which is bad, they're lacking a bit of innovation, and which is sad, because they're really, I always considered Samsung to be the kind of company out there that was bringing new features out, new ideas, new specs, new technology. I thought they were all for that, and obviously not. Basically, or essentially, with this new, because they're second on top. That's how I say it. Pretty much, it's Apple's on top, then Samsung in terms of smartphones. They know they're second, and they know they're catching up. So basically, from my point of view as a consumer, they haven't done much purposely, because they kind of have the idea that people, well, they've got fanboys and whatnot, and they will automatically go buy the gun, not the gun, the the phone, regardless of what's new. Basically, the phone itself looks like the S3, bigger screen, I believe, but specifications, just smaller updates and whatnot. But I'm not seeing anything amazing. Like, apparently there's some technologies with your eye, like if your eyes aren't looking at your Samsung, then it's just like, I'll turn off for you. But sometimes we don't always look at our phone, and we want it on. But anyway, there's a lot of trouble. It comes with Android 4.22. I don't know why they boast about that, because let's be honest, it's not Samsung developing Android. They just freeload off Google for that. So I don't know what's crazy and new about that, but wow, it must be big stuff. 13 megapixel camera. I don't know if I said this before, but the difference between a 13 megapixel camera and a 8 megapixel camera is minimal in terms of quality. You will not see the change. Basically, megapixels doesn't even matter. It more relies on lens for quality of picture these days, because we've got to such a high megapixel resolution, it's just ridiculous. And also, with these high megapixel resolutions, basically files get a lot bigger, so when uploading to social media and stuff, it's going to take longer. It's going to take longer to transfer from phone to computer and whatnot. It's, it's not all for the future. It seems with all these new processors and whatnot, essentially the new specifications, which aren't that much better, it's going to be taking up a lot of battery. So once again, another flaw in the smartphone, never working on batteries. However, they work on items that will decrease battery efficiency for power. So I'm not happy. Just to briefly go over it again, personally, I think Samsung, they know they're top two. They know they've got their fanboys. They could slack off a bit this year. They can make profit from not outdated software and specifications, but they can go out there and make money without that much innovation, which is going to spark competition from other firms and businesses, hopefully getting better smartphones out there and making Samsung and Apple wake up to their, their ignorance to what consumers want. I think as a consumer, just generally, what we want is cheaper phones that are capable of, basically, these days, everyone seems to require internet on their phones. So basically we want music, we want texting, we want phone feature, we want internet, and that's all we need. And if we can get it cheap and touchscreen, obviously, slim, good battery life, sell like hotcakes. Because yes, there is a demand for higher, I don't know what you call it, higher class, but that higher kind of level of smartphone, and people want that. But I think with the state of economies in Europe and America, people specifically want a nice cheap phone. Not, when I say cheap, I don't mean a crap phone. I mean a good quality phone for $200. And I don't know why these big firms haven't taken advantage of that, especially Apple. I know a lot of it, by not releasing a cheaper phone, convinces people to save up for their phones, their really expensive phones, but I find that people, people still want these cheaper phones, and people will start to avoid them eventually as most other phones are catching up. And yeah, so I don't know if I explained that well, but basically I think there's a lack of innovation, and someone's got to jump in and take advantage of the market, because I'm sick of watching people pay ridiculous prices for items made in China by pretty much slaves nearly, for next to nothing, and selling them for $800 a piece, and they're not really bringing anything new or generation changing. Yeah, the iPhone brought the whole touchscreen into the mainstream. That's revolutionary. I wouldn't say Siri was revolutionary, but basically, not much has been done since then. I don't think not much can be done from then on in. But the only thing that can be done is making it cheaper, or making it accessible to most people. And honestly, I don't know why they're not taking advantage of China. A population of 1 billion people. They're gradually getting richer and richer, and we're still not taking advantage of this whole, there's a huge market out there, and we're not taking advantage, or they're not taking advantage. Which, yeah, and because it's a bit of a duopoly, it's kind of hard to jump into the market. High barriers of entry and exit to the market, so not everyone can make their own phone and sell it successfully. It's kind of, it's very limited in terms of competition, I find. But anyway, thanks for listening. Cheers.